Good afternoon. On behalf of Engineers Australia, I'm delighted to welcome you all to our Thought Leader series, Building the Future, Innovations for Smart Buildings. My name is Megan Purdy and I'll be your host for today. Firstly, in keeping with our custom, Engineers Australia acknowledges the traditional custodians of the country throughout Australia and recognises their continuing connection to land, waters and community. We pay our respects to them and to their cultures and to elders past and present. Before we get started, I would like to acknowledge that today's webinar is being hosted with Engineers Australia's industry partner, ABB. ABB is a leading global technology company that energises the transformation of society and industry to achieve a more productive, sustainable future. By connecting software to its electrification, robotics, automation and motion portfolio, ABB pushes the boundaries of technology to drive performance to new levels. With a history of excellence stretching back more than 130 years, ABB's success is driven by about 110,000 talented employees in over 100 countries. Now today we'll hear from 4 speakers, followed by a panel discussion and an audience Q&A where we will have another speaker joining us. So I encourage you to send your questions through to our speakers via the chat box. I'd now like to welcome our first speakers, Shun Mizuta and Matthew Doley. Matthew is a distinguished leader in the realm of building, automation and controls. With a robust background spanning over 2 decades, Matthew brings a wealth of expertise and strategic insight. Matthew's extensive experience has been pivotal in shaping cutting-edge solutions that optimize energy efficiency, enhance operational performance, and ensure sustainability across diverse sectors. His proficiency extends to integrating advanced technologies into building management systems, leveraging his deep understanding of automation principles and industry best practice. Joining Matthew today will be Shun Mizuta, who is ABB's Australia's Product Marketing Manager of ABB's Energy Distribution Product Portfolio. In this role, he is responsible for business development of RCD, MCB, fuse gear and switches, and EMS. He has experience of working at ABB Japan for 7 years in a similar role and has been here in Australia for 5 years. He is passionate about protective device of DIN rail products and digitalisation of sub-distribution boards with ABB EMS. Please join me in welcoming Matthew Doley and Shun Mizuta.
Thanks, Megan. Today we're going to talk about solutions for energy efficiency. Energy efficiency in buildings. As we all know, the urgent need to address climate change has increased efforts to achieve net zero carbon emissions. With this in mind, enhancing energy efficiency in buildings is crucial, as they are significant contributors to the global energy consumption and carbon emissions. Collecting building data is a must for improving energy efficiency and achieving carbon emissions reductions, which are essential steps towards driving net zero results. I would like to talk about the benefits of collecting building data. Enhance energy management, real-time monitoring. Collecting data on energy use, temperature, lighting, occupancy allows for real-time monitoring of building performance. This data helps identify inefficiencies and areas where energy consumption can be reduced. Data-driven insights enable optimization of control systems and building operations. Predictive analytics. Advanced data analytics can predict future energy needs and adjust systems accordingly, optimizing energy use and reducing waste. It allows for informed decision-making. Benchmarking. Data collected enables benchmarking against industry standards and similar buildings, providing a clear picture of where improvements are needed. Targeted upgrades. Detailed insights into energy usage patterns guided targeted upgrades to building systems, such as HVAC lighting, and installation, ensuring that investments in energy efficiency are both effective and cost effective. Improved building performance, adaptive systems. Data-driven insights allow implementation of adaptive building systems that respond dynamically to changing conditions, enhancing overall performance and comfort. Maintenance optimization. Monitoring systems can predict equipment failures and maintenance needs, reducing downtime and maintaining peak efficiency. Improved energy efficiency leads to saving costs on utility bills. Regulatory compliance and reporting. Meeting standards. Accurate data collection helps buildings comply with energy efficiency regulations and standards, avoiding potential penalties and aligning with sustainability goals. Many green building certifications, such as NABERS and Green Star ratings, require detailed performance energy data reporting. Detailed reporting of energy use and carbon emissions is essential for meeting corporate sustainability targets and gaining stakeholder trust. Supporting carbon emission reduction, emission tracking. Building data helps track and report carbon emissions, providing a clear understanding of the impact of various efficiency measures. Strategy development. Insights from data enable the development of effective carbon emission reduction strategies and the implementation of renewable energy solutions, further advancing towards net zero. Overall, collecting and analyzing building data is fundamental to improving energy efficiency and reducing carbon emissions. It provides the insights necessary to optimize energy use, helps us make informed decisions, and implement effective strategies for achieving net zero results. As we advance to a more sustainable future, leveraging building data will be essential in driving significant reductions in energy consumption and carbon emissions. ABB's smart building portfolio extends from electrification and energy management to advanced monitoring and control of building systems. Our products are used in commercial and industrial sites globally. Our digital smart building solutions are first class, and with the emerging rise of AI, having your building digital ready has never been more important. Being digital ready means having the right tools, strategies, and infrastructure in place to leverage AI effectively. Utilizing open protocol systems throughout the building is essential when handling building data flow. Most buildings already have some form of data collection, whether it's a BMS with some meters connected or a simple EMS collecting data from a standard building utility meters. It's enough to start your sustainability journey. At ABB, our smart building solutions can help continue your journey to achieving your energy efficiency goals. Our multi-vendor approach to market also gives your company choice along the way. Now let's take a look at some of our energy and building performance management solutions. ABB has a number of solutions to help achieve your energy efficiency goals. ABB Ability Energy and Asset Manager is a cloud-based software as a service solution. It enables the collection of relevant information from ABB devices installed in low and medium voltage power distribution system. The devices can be connected to the software platform via Modbus RTU or Modbus TCP. The Asset Manager allows you to track your equipment lifecycle in real time. ABB Building Analyzer is a cloud-based solution, software as a service. vendor-agnostic solution which accepts data from multiple sources and protocols. ABB Ability Building Analyzer tracks both building data such as occupancy, equipment run hours, temperatures, building waste and costs, and utilities such as energy, gas, and water. In real time, it provides actionable insights to help save money while improving energy efficiency, sustainability, and occupant awareness. ABB System Insight is a local on-premise deployment and can be accessed via web services. It allows small to mid-sized commercial buildings to track energy consumption of distribution boards and circuits. We'll explore this solution further in the webinar with Sean. ABB Cylon is our BMS system. It's built on open protocols and is a multi-vendor solution through a number of system integrators Australia-wide. ABB Cylon Building Automation System is a powerful, scalable system that provides comprehensive controls and efficient energy management solutions throughout commercial buildings, offering a comprehensive suite of intelligent building management solutions and integrates seamlessly, providing a complete control and optimization of building systems, including HVAC, KNX lighting, access control, energy monitoring, and other third-party systems. If you'd like to learn more about any of these solutions, please email our team. I'll now pass over to Sean.
Okay, thank you, Matt. My name is Shun Mizuta. I'm a product marketing manager of ABB Australia, Energy Distribution of Smart Building Division. I'm going to talk about National Construction Code, so-called NCC, what it means to energy efficiency, and how it will affect our commercial building projects. The NCC provides the technical provisions for the design and construction of buildings and other structures and plumbing and drainage systems. NCC Volume 1 covers the design and construction of multi-residential, commercial, industrial, and public assembly buildings, whereas Volume 2 covers the design and construction of smaller scale buildings, including houses, small sheds, carports, and such. Volume 3 covers the design, construction, and maintenance of plumbing and drainage systems in new and existing buildings. In the Volume 1, there is a Section J where it talks about energy efficiency. The functional statement of Section J is a building must reduce the energy consumption and energy peak demand of key equipment and reduce the greenhouse gas emissions that occurs as a result of building's energy consumption. The subsections of J are details about energy efficiency performance requirements, verification method, and some definitions and provisions of key areas such as building fabric, ceilings, and air conditioning and ventilation, and the list goes on. Let's look into the verification method that's stated under J1V. NCC categorizes buildings into class 2 to 9. These classifications help determine the applicable building standards and regulations. Essentially, this is to check the buildings to comply J1P1, the efficient use of energy. There are several verification methods. First one is NAVERS. NAVERS focuses on the operational performance of buildings and their environmental impact. It assesses how well a building performs in real-life conditions, typically valid for 12 months. Next one is Green Star. Green Star assesses the sustainability of buildings and communities based on their design and construction. It looks at the holistic impact of the buildings, including both operational and design elements, not typically reassessed in regular basis until significant renovations are made. Other than that, there is a verification method using reference buildings. There is a verification with envelope sealing. Typically involves ensuring that the building's envelope, its exterior shell including walls, windows, doors, and roofs, is properly sealed and performs effectively in terms of energy efficiency. Different building classes require different rating of the verification method. For example, Class 5 building to comply with J1P1, efficient use of energy, minimum 5.5 star with neighbors and some additional conditions are required, or with green star and some additional conditions. Now we will look into J9D3, which is facilities for energy monitoring. J9D3 talks about energy monitoring and on-site distributed energy resources. With threshold of floor area, it requires time of use energy data recording for lighting, appliance power, and renewable energy equipment, EV charging equipment, and battery systems. Energy meters must be interlinked by a communication system that collates the data to a single interface monitoring system where it can be stored, analyzed, and reviewed. The key point here is that EMS has to not only gather the energy usage data from the field device, but also locally store and visualize and to a single interface. Now, previously Matt talked about ABB's 4 different EMS, and I'm going to go through one of them, which is called Insight EMS. Insight can collect the data from field devices. It doesn't matter whether ABB products or non-ABB products. It stores the data locally. The control unit works as a gateway, so it will visualize the data with its dashboard, which is accessible from the web browser like Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge. Insight can also be connected to upper systems, BMS, EMS, SCADA, ABB Ability Platform, or third-party cloud. I would say it is one of the best solutions to comply with NCC J9D3. To hear more about Insight, please reach me out. This is it for my presentation, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Matthew and Sean, for your presentations. I'd now like to welcome our next speaker, Faria Sultana. Faria represents technical promotions team within ABB Electrification Business and has more than 10 years of experience in the electrical automation industry, specialising in sales and customer relationships. Her expertise includes expanding and diversifying the market for low voltage and extra low voltage products and systems, particularly KNX solutions, home automation, and lighting control. She has gained diversified technical proficiency by working with multiple levels of customers, including consultants, contractors, and end users, from initial engagement to delivery of projects. Please join me in welcoming Faria Sultana.
Thank you, Megan, for this nice introduction. Hello, everyone. I would like to start my presentation today by talking about the low carbon economy and key steps to reach to low carbon society. Our company and our customers are actively committed to contributing to net zero initiatives, demonstrating a strong willingness to reduce our collective dependency on energy sources that harm the planet. There are 4 key steps to achieve carbon neutrality in our premises. First, digitalizing our premises by deploying digital solutions for smart green buildings, energy management, and optimization of energy uses. And then maximizing electrification by reducing inefficient equipments that consumes more power. For an example, legacy HVAC systems, motors, and drives. We'll have to select more efficient motor drives and heat pumps. And then increasing energy efficiency by selecting to use efficient equipment, we can increase the energy efficiency of our premise. And then integrate renewables, incorporate photovoltaic technology and wind turbines through to battery energy storage systems, to the thermal energy storage. Finally, procuring renewable energy from the grid and identify and offset remaining emissions. Now let's talk about net zero target in Australia. The government's Department of Climate, Energy, the Environment and Water committed to emissions reduction plan that is based on 4 climate actions: renewable energy, energy efficiency, pollution prevention and control, and clean transportation. Our reduction plan is to reach carbon neutrality by 2050. And this focuses on to modernization, upgrading, and also establish new installation. And our government has also released target for public services to reach net zero by 2030. And we're moving towards the circular economy. All Australian environment ministers have committed to create a circular economy by 2030. Now, these plans, these targets are to be achieved by policies and actions and schemes that can help and promote this journey. For an example, safeguard and mechanism by setting legislated limits on or baselines on the greenhouse gas emissions of these facilities, 82% renewable efficiency target, legislating by increasing Australia's capacity to adapt to the climate crisis in line with the international climate agenda, and capacity investment schemes that will provide framework to encourage new investments in renewable capacity, and also schemes like carbon crediting unit, renewable energy target scheme, and etc. And also there are new vehicle efficiency standards to put in forward from January in 2025. These will apply to new cars sold in Australian market to bring cleaner cars and give more choices of new efficient vehicles. In light of this discussion so far, we can now perceive the importance of investing in sustainable solutions now to make our facilities future ready. Because energy scenario now is not necessarily be all the same in the next decade, not even in 5 years. As we reach closer to our carbon target, by the year, the imposition of policies strictly is just a matter of time. Therefore, it is imperative to install standard protocols and establish openness in every portfolio within the buildings for future expansion. Now, investing in sustainable technologies will allow the systems to be flexible in design, interoperable within multiple systems from field devices to management platforms, therefore allowing seamless expansion of facilities. These facets will also free up CapEx, optimize OpEx, and ensure effective return of investments. Circular economy ensures context of sustainability by design. How do we create the circular economy? It starts with streamlining material uses, designing out the chemical of concern, keeping disassembly in mind, establishing energy efficient premise, recycling and reusing materials, reducing waste product circularity across the full life cycle, and CO2 reduction. And in that way, we begin to regenerate the nature. Now, as your technology partner, we ABB, where do we stand? To support decarbonization, we have been demonstrating commitment by increasing energy efficiency and reducing emissions in our own operations. We enable a low carbon society to reach net zero by 2050 with our eco solutions. Our target is to reduce own scope 1 and 2 CO2 emissions at least 80% by 2030 and 100% by 2050. And we preserve resources. We embed circularity in our projects by reducing waste, protecting water and biodiversity, and using land responsibly. We have targeted to cover at least 80% of ABB's portfolio of products and solutions with our circularity approach by 2030 and send zero waste to landfill while reducing waste generation by the same year. To achieve our net zero target, we're constantly developing our products, and also we're constantly developing tools for you to calculate the cost savings. For an example, we have a return of investment calculator. We are going to share this link with you after the webinar. And if you try this link, you can see that you can select your greenfield or brownfield, and if you set the parameters right, it will show you a graph. In that graph, you can see in how many days or maybe in how many years your return of investments are achieved. I hope this session has been informative. Let's create our green planet together. Until the next time, thank you.
Thank you for your input. I'd now like to welcome our final speaker for today, Milad Mostafabala. Milad is a product marketing manager for digital solutions within ABB's electrification business. In this role, he oversees digitalization products and solutions across multiple segments, including buildings, transport, mining, and oil and gas. Milad has more than 12 years' experience managing and delivering complex projects across a range of technical, engineering, and commercial functions for utilities and end users, and has held various engineering positions with ABB both globally and locally in Australia. He holds a Bachelor of Engineering from RMIT University and a Master of Marketing from the Melbourne Business School. Milad is a certified practicing engineer and soon to be a certified energy manager. Please join me in welcoming Milad Mostafabala.
A very good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a pleasure to be invited back to present to Engineers Australia. Last year, when I was invited to deliver a thought leader series for Engineers Australia, I was requested to talk about energy efficiency, and I presented cost, risk, and performance to be the three major market drivers which are pushing the people, consumers, clients, providers, and generators as well towards choosing a more energy efficient path and journey, and commencing a new strategy to get on board to become more efficient. Last year in that presentation, I answered the question around energy efficiency with three pillars: resilience, sustainability, and digitalization. And these were the three pillars that I described as the solution to starting the journey towards energy efficiency. This year, when I was invited by Engineers Australia to present, the question for the topic was how engineering leaders are able to provide a design that is able to reduce the operational expenses, and at the same time it can benefit and improve sustainability within the electrical discipline. As hard as this question was, I had to think about the projects that I delivered during the past few years, and I came across few common characteristics across these many projects. And I started to summarize those characteristics, and I saw a common theme across those characteristics that enabled me to somehow develop a framework. And from that framework, I was able to come up with 7 key energy efficiency actions that engineering leaders, who are people like yourself watching the webinar today, are able to directly use, and it can assist them with improving their energy efficiency and sustainability targets. And I thought presenting these 7 key action points are somehow beneficial to you as my colleagues. And that's what I will be presenting today. Number 1 is around measure and benchmark energy consumption for energy efficiency. Number 2 is selection of right size electrical asset. Number 3 is around bringing connectivity to physical asset and switchgear. Number 4 is around installing efficient electrical equipment, utilizing equipment which are efficient in consumption and power usage. Number 5, electrify where possible. So technically, it's all around utilizing the opportunity to electrify where you can in your design, your system. Number 6, deploying smart real-time energy management and asset management. And lastly, collecting energy-related data and optimize those energy usage. And these were the 7 key energy efficiency actions that I thought as a framework is somehow beneficial. I didn't stop there. I thought that there is differentiation between these 7 items, and there is a comparison between them. So what I did from those projects and application examples, I started to ask myself around what is involved and what are the impacts that each of these actions can bring in. And thirdly, how complex are these actions for engineers to incorporate into their systems and design? And the most important factor that we are being inquired upon from middle management or upper management constantly whenever we are providing a proposal is how quickly this action can get result for the organization. And I started to compare each of these 7 points and trying to answer these 4 questions. And on the first one, which is measure and benchmark energy consumption, it really involves around load factor and demand profile studying. So studying the impact of the existing electrical infrastructure that you have in this application or project example within a building, a commercial building. And in terms of its complexity, it does have a value, but at the same time, it does require some level of expenses and expenditure to be able to measure those electrical energy consumptions, but it does have a direct impact in terms of providing efficiency figures and energy consumption figures as a result. So these were the main criteria within action number 1. In terms of selection of right size electrical asset, it really involves around studying the operational requirement and the loading requirement in a plant. Somehow or sometimes you are able to adjust some of the settings to be able to improve or utilize your asset even above and beyond the level that you are having them. Sometimes it involves redesigning of asset because they need to be sort of upsized. So technically, right size electrical asset equipment is always very important as one of the criteria within your energy efficiency journey. The best point or the best time to be able to do this or revise this sizing and replacement is during the life cycle management of the asset. Any asset is not there for lifetime. They do have a specific life cycle, and therefore that life cycle threshold is where it's the best timing to review your load profile and your sizing. And it does provide an immediate result. It does provide a very quick result in terms of your selection. Number 3, bringing connectivity to physical asset. This could be by the use of edge gateways. You are able to connect those assets that you are having within your operation, and you will be able to identify the losses that are there within your electrical system, within your building, for example, and tracking the energy flow and understanding where this needless energy does exist, what we call as a ghost asset. And you can quickly obtain result by choosing this because you are clearly able to identify where and which devices are drawing power without use. And that's the benefit that bringing connectivity to physical asset is able to accommodate for you. Number 4 is around installing efficient electrical equipment. The complexity here is the capital investment. It does require capital investment and expenditure because more efficient products and electrical equipment are always more expensive. But having said that, installing high efficiency does have an immediate result in terms of reducing your energy consumption. So if the capital investment is there, then yeah, it's doable. Be mindful of the requirement there, and obviously you will have a direct impact as well simultaneously. Number 5 is around electrifying where possible. And a true example of this is installing electric vehicle charging infrastructure within the commercial building where you can. It does require capital expenditure above what your base design may have within your feasibility studies, for example. However, it does have a direct impact because it can populate efficiency gain quite quickly. And some of the major success that here at ABB we have been able to provide is the optimization of the charger schedule and having a load management for the chargers within a, for example, commercial building application example. Moving along, on number 6, deploying smart real-time energy management and asset management. It does have a direct impact because it allows you to optimize the consumption within your building, your commercial infrastructure. However, most of the clients and consumers that we deal with, they do see a return in their investment within the 2 years time frame from the time when they install and commission the energy and asset management systems. The benefit here is being able to monitor in real time, and therefore it does provide an immediate result because it can accommodate that real time functionality. And number 7, collecting energy related data and optimize those data. It does involve monitoring and measuring the electrical related data, your power, your real power, reactive power, apparent power. And the complexity here again is the capital investment. There is a need here for investing to be able to sense this data. However, it does have a very quick turnaround and quick result in terms of your energy reduction, but also it's able to provide a reduction in your CO2 and carbon footprint reduction as well. So, to summarize what we discussed today around the 7 key action points that engineering leaders are able to take to be able to reduce operational expense and improve sustainability within a commercial building. Here are the 7 points: measure and benchmark, selection of right size electrical asset, bringing connectivity to physical switchgear, installing efficient electrical equipment, electrify where possible, and deploying real-time energy asset management. And lastly, collecting the energy-related data to be able to optimize them. With that, I would like to thank you and start the panel discussion.
Thanks, Milad, for your insights. Now, before we get started with the Q&A today, I would like to welcome Rebecca Patterson, Electrical Technical Director at ADP Consulting, who'll be joining the panel discussion today. Rebecca is a registered electrical engineer who has over 30 years' experience. Her in-depth practical experience working on an expansive range of multidisciplinary projects has provided her with an understanding of real-world solutions, which ensures successful outcomes and efficient design results. She strives to provide efficiencies outside a project's standard scope while taking into account specific financial models and considerations behind each project. Having worked with some of the most creative architectural firms in Melbourne, Rebecca is renowned for her attention to detail and ability to work in close partnership with both client, stakeholders, and designers. A regular technical presenter on lighting for Property Council Building Services, she is passionate about the need to understand and appreciate the role of light and lighting to the human experience of spaces. So please join me, everyone, in welcoming Rebecca Patterson. Now, before we jump into the questions, a quick reminder to please ask our speakers your questions via the chat box, and don't forget to let me know who your question is directed to. A big thank you, as always, to everyone who submitted questions while registering for today's webinar. And what I might do is kick off with some of those. So we'll bring everyone together. Milad, I'll keep you talking. Sorry, you're the final presenter, but I'll ask you the first question. We've had a question that has come through from, well, I suppose Francois in Western Australia. And his question was, what are the latest trends in upgrading existing buildings to incorporate technology, residential and commercial?
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Megan. Some of the latest trends in retrofitability is within the EV charging domain that we are experiencing and providing solutions for. Deploying energy management systems as well, for a range of clients and customers, and that's applicable for both brownfield and greenfield sites. So retrofitting, EV charging, and providing energy management systems is some of the latest trends.
Excellent. Thank you. Rebecca, I'll pull you into the discussion, and I've got a question for you, and it is, what do you see as the most significant barrier to investment in a comprehensive energy management system?
Thanks for that. Look, what we see in the market is a significant disconnect between what the building brief is that we receive as engineers and the organisation's sustainability goals. So you've got to meet the NCC, so you've got to meet the building code requirements, but that's a lower level of requirements and it's not optional. But it does mean that if you're going to install this sort of system anyway, then it really should be aligned with the organisation's sustainability goals so that it has the most value to the most people. So whether those goals might be Green Star or WELL or NABERS benchmarking, for example, I think it's if you take that information and make sure that it's targeted at what the organisation is attempting to get, then you get the best value out of those metrics. So quite often there will be no effective power usage information in some of the organisations we go to. And so they're not really sure what to do with the data. But if you talk to their own internal sustainability people, sometimes they're crying out for that information. And so if it's closely aligned with what the organisation wants to do, then it tends to create the best opportunity to get this comprehensive energy management system into the buildings.
Thanks, Rebecca. Matt, I've got a question, and it's come through from Matthew in Victoria, and it is, what would be your recommendation for an EMS BMS installer to start the conversation with mechanical contractors and property managers to find value in an EMS being installed and then actioning the results obtained?
Thanks, Megan. From my point of view, the system integrator needs to emphasize on the value of having an EMS by highlighting the benefits available to the end users, whether it's the mechanical contractor, the building owners, the FM, the sustainability manager of a portfolio of buildings. For example, mechanical contractors are interested in optimization and performance of equipment, having data insights available to identify potential equipment failures or the requirement to upgrade due to poor energy efficiency of an aged asset. From a building owners and FM point of view, they are interested in understanding how to review data that can lead to energy efficiency outcomes, which in turn provides operational cost savings and utility bills reductions. Reviewing data can also drive a reduction of equipment failures, which improves the tenant well-being and comfort. And sustainability and compliance reporting is easy when you have the data available. Thanks, Megan.
Thanks, Matt. I've got a question which is probably for Sean, and it is, what challenges might we face when scaling energy efficient solutions across multiple buildings or large commercial complexes?
Thank you, Megan. Thank you for the questions. I would say different challenges for different stakeholders for this kind of the multi-building project. But for the commercial challenges, I would say high capex and the financing, because you have to manage to allocate budget to multiple buildings, and that can be complex. And also for technical challenges that would come from the diverse design of different buildings. and data management and monitoring can be complex too as well. And that's why EMS system needs to fit to manage data from the multiple sites. And luckily, we have very good solution with ABB, overarching solution called ABB Ability. And there is a business provider, so-called energy service company, ESCO. They provide a range of the energy-related services, including energy audit, energy efficiency upgrades, and ongoing energy management. So it would be a good idea to consult with the ESCO and to get discuss about what goal you want to achieve and how to allocate the budget. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks so much for that, Sean. Faria, I'll bring you into the conversation. I've got a question here for you, which is, beyond the energy savings, how do these technologies actually enhance the occupants' comfort and productivity? Are there any measurable impacts on an employee's well-being and performance?
Thank you, Megan. Let's talk about benefits of using these technologies for occupancy comfort. That ensures complete automation and remote control of these facilities, time-dependent solutions, automatic lighting-based solution on lux levels, HVAC operation based on occupancy are in place when we make sure that these sustainable solutions are installed. And then higher air quality, comfortable temperature can be maintained at all the time. These will also enable lighting condition and ventilation that maintains air quality within standards and prescribes appropriate ventilation rates. And also, AI capability ensures maximum comfort and reduces strain on HVAC. For an example, if a meeting starts every day at the same time, including certain number of people, the AI will make sure that the system prepares the room beforehand the meeting starts, thus reducing a sudden strain on the HVAC. Now, what is the measurable impact of these systems on employees in a workplace? Employees' performance is driven by safe and comfortable working spaces. A well-designed workplace can reduce stress, allow people to move around the property without the change in the environment. Thus, it ensures flexibility, proving these factors to have direct and substantial impact on the productivity of workforce. CO2 reduction and air quality restoration, comfortable lighting levels allow people to work efficiently within the longer periods of time in comparison to an unmaintained environment. And also, additionally, advanced data analysis can avoid downtime related to any technical faults, thereby freeing people from hassles caused by any fault occurred in the premise. All these have showed results in terms of improved quality of employee well-being and performance. I hope this answers the question. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, look, what I might do now is start to bring in some of our live questions. So, hello to everyone who's sending them in. The first one that I've got is from Dylan Hans, which I'll probably direct to a couple of you and hope you'll jump in. Dylan's question is, have ABB retrofitted their facilities and manufacturing locations for smart building features? If yes, what were the challenges that were encountered and overcome? So maybe, Millard, I might throw to you to begin answering this one.
Yes, fantastic. Thanks a lot, Megan. And thanks, Dylan, for your great question there. In fact, yes, 4 years ago, our division president actually outlined and essentially set a rule that all of our facilities must become energy efficient. And from that practice and exercise, we have integrated and retrofitted all of our manufacturing facilities and offices with energy efficient solutions such as the Insight Building Analyzer and Energy and Asset Manager. And the reason for that was to be able to monitor, benchmark, and be able to optimize the energy efficiency and usage of our for that reason, we have been able to come up with saving, and we have been able to provide reduction in our operational expenses in terms of energy. There are some white papers published as well around that I think it's worth taking a look around. I would like to bring in my colleagues to add to this if they have any point. Matt or Sean, please.
Yeah, thank you, Milad. Maybe I take up a few. Although I was not involved in any of this project of the optimization of smart factories, but I saw the article, ABB article, saying that we established a new smart factory in India, and I think it's located in Bangalore, and that facility features ABB ability to just utilize manufacturing and provide real-time insight for the optimization. And also it features smart manufacturing technologies as we are ABB as a market leader for the robotics as well. So the factory features robotics and automated production lines, and to streamline the operations and improve the quality controls. And at last and but not least, but the factory designed with a focused energy efficiency for sustainability, and incorporating the technologies that reduce the energy consumptions. For the challenges and overcome, we at the moment I don't have those informations, but maybe we can have something from the article. You can just Google it, Bangalore ABB Smart Factory, and then you see all the details over there.
Thanks, Sean. Matt, I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that question.
No, I think the team's covered that one off quite well. Thanks.
I think they did a good job.
Yeah.
I've got a question. Rebecca, I'll pull you in again. This one's from Vince, who's watching live. For a retail tenancy under 2,500 square meters within a larger building, do we need a private meter on the distribution board?
So this is one I see a lot, so I feel I can answer this pretty well. We do work at ABP with a number of shopping centres. So obviously in a Class 6 sort of space, we're talking about a ruling on J9D3, which is the Facility for Energy Monitoring. Now, that requirement, so if you look at J9D3, you do notice that the requirement for the private energy meter, the check meter, which is subsection clause 2, that does say that if it's a building of more than 2,500, but if you've got an individual shop, okay, which is basically less than 2,500, then that is understood to be a sole occupancy unit of a floor area less than 2,500. Now, while there is no requirement to put in the check metering and the monitoring, I do think that it's best to install a check meter, even if you don't split the chassis. So my understanding is that you do not require to install it for a building, a tenancy, a sole occupancy unit that's less than 2,500 square metres.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Rebecca. Matt, I've got a question for you. And it's, how can the latest energy management technologies be integrated with existing building management systems without causing significant disruptions or requiring extensive retrofitting?
So with that question, I believe that ensuring that you select the right technologies that utilize open protocols to be deployed throughout your building is probably the most important thing when trying to retrofit a building. For example, Building Optimizer is a vendor agnostic solution, and it's designed to collect data from multiple sources such as CSV, SQL Server, BACnet, Modbus RTU, Modbus TCP, KNX, MQTT. So deploying a system like this in a building gives the user flexibility to track data from multiple building services and have a complete picture of what's happening in the building or a portfolio of buildings. We do have a case study online, and it revolves around Dublin International Airport, and it shows how many multiple data sources we use within that facility, and how we can report and improve energy efficiency across the board and track waste and all sorts of things. So if you'd like to review that case study, please jump online, and it's available there. Thanks,
Excellent. Thanks, Matt. Now I've got a question that I'll direct, I think, to Sean and Rebecca. And it, again, has come through from Dylan. Dylan's got a few questions today. Could you recommend any products and implementation strategies for feeder and sub-feeder energy and power monitoring? Who wants to go first for that one?
Maybe I take a few words from there. Yeah, so we do have solutions, but it's not one solutions. We have several EMS solutions. And yeah, it depends on what kind of the project we are working on. We offer a different solution. And we do have software and hardware. So metering, we have energy meters, power monitoring meters. So there are lots to discuss in this matter. So yeah, I think that it's have a separate discussion and discuss more deeply about those ABB solutions. Today's session is more generic about how ABB is approaching to energy efficiency market. So I do like to have another session with is it Diane to discuss further. But Rebecca, please free to comments on Diane's questions.
So yes, I would think that particularly when it comes to product selection, what you should really be starting with is what the general intent of the outcome is. So rather than going straight to products, you first work out what's the performance that you're looking for, what's the design intent of the work that you're looking for, and then start looking at what options are available. So yeah, I think that the thing about these sort of systems is that they can be really bespoke to what you need. So you need to, rather than try to come up with a generic solution, it's really important to focus on what the actual needs are for that application and make something bespoke that's suitable.
Great advice. Thanks, Rebecca, for that. I've got a question which has come through from Jeremy Goodchild. Jeremy's asked, has there been consideration of the role of AI in the energy optimization and building system management? Milad, maybe you might want to kick off on that one.
Yes, please. I'll take that one, Megan. Thanks a lot, Jeremy, for that question. Look, AI is impacting all aspects of our lives, and so does the engineering discipline and electrical discipline. I am able to answer that question by referencing back to one of our in-house solution, ABB Ability Energy Manager. And the AI piece that is relevant to energy management and energy monitoring is around prediction and predictability. The fact that studying the electrical circuits or the nodes and understanding their consumption throughout a certain period of time, week, day, and being able to predict that consumption and usage. And imagine how that can then assist or help out with the generation side. If you are looking at clean renewable generation, and you're looking at being able to plan that with battery energy storage systems. So these three pieces of puzzle is what we are working on at the moment here at ABB, and that's the relation of AI that's directing our future in terms of energy prediction and being able to utilize these facets in a very seamless, autonomous way. I hope that answered your question.
Thanks, Milad. Rebecca, I have another question for you. It is, what is the most viable use case for smart building load management?
Thanks for that. I think one of the most viable use case for these sort of smart building systems that we see is particularly where there are sites that the local distributors, so the local power distributors, more and more we're seeing them limit how much incoming and exporting power you are allowed to have from site. So they're basically saying this is your substation size that you're allowed to have. Now, effectively, you can request more power, but often it is very expensive if it's a lot more than either the distributor believes is required or can the local zone can handle. So in that sort of situation where you have this constraint, often we're going to look at a load management system associated with, say, electric vehicle charging that we may be putting on site anyway. That load management system can be extended or modified so that it effectively works, allows the building to work within its energy budget without having to have large substation upgrades and so on that can be extremely expensive. So rather than immediately jumping to, well, let's get a new main switchboard, let's get a new substation, effectively utilising a load management system can allow you to work within the systems that you already have. So, yeah, I think that's the best way to be able to use these sort of systems to save quite significant amounts of money.
Excellent. Thanks for that, Rebecca. We've had a question come in live, and I might throw this one probably to the ABB people. Is ABB, and it's come through from Shane Quinn, is ABB involved with EVs?
I'll take that one, Megan. Yes, we are. In fact, part of my presentation early on where I mentioned to electrify where possible was surrounding the fact that starting to utilize electric charging infrastructure where you are able to do so. Our e-mobility team is quite strong in Australia, and we are currently working with quite a number of major and client and stakeholders who are either installing the EV infrastructure for transport application, or they are installing that for commercial building application, which is the topic of the presentation today. If you are looking at having some of the success cases reviewed, or you're having a live project, please get in touch with us, and we'll be more than happy to assist you with your project. Thanks.
Thanks, Malad. Well, Malad, I might ask you the next question. So it's come through from Jeremy. And in terms of all the options for retrofitting, if I can get my words out, sorry about that, EMSs with smart features, what has shown the most consistent and reliable positive results from a return of investment perspective?
Excellent question, Jeremy, and credit to the question that you have asked, because that was part of one of the major items that our end client normally inquire from us. Return of investment is very important. Based on what we have delivered so far, we've been able to see a positive return on investment from the second year. So typically clients are able to see a return coming back from the second year. We do have a tool which we have developed in ABB. We call it ROI tool. If you search it online, ABB ROI tool, you will be able to nominate or technically talk about or display or select the circumstance for the client that you have, and with that ROI tool you'll be then shown with the potential return of investment that you are able to kind of present to your end client. So do suggest to search that, and that will hopefully provide you with the detailed analysis in terms of return of investment. And back to answering your question, second year is normally when we see a positive return coming back. Thanks.
Excellent. Thanks, Malad. Okay, my final question to Malad before I'll do a wrap-up question for everyone. With the increasing use of cloud-based solutions for energy management, what measures are in place to ensure the security and privacy of the data collected from these systems?
Very good. Also another strong question. Look, in terms of cybersecurity and in terms of how to mitigate cyber attack, the main thing that I can describe to you is a risk management. So cybersecurity is always a risk management procedure. There's no such a thing as 100% secure, but what you are able to provide is steps and levels to ensure that risk mitigations are there. And that's what we do when we speak to our client in terms of providing that comfort. The second thing that I can suggest is always keeping the monitoring separate to the operational part of your system, so that these are not impacted and they are totally segregated, and there are redundant systems in place. And that's the other thing that I can provide as a suggestion. And the last suggestion that I can have is, if you're looking at a system that you are doing energy management or energy monitoring, ensure that the way the data is traveling is not both sides, it's not two-sided, it's one-sided, meaning that it's from the asset to the host, or where you are keeping the data, and you ensure that you make sure that from the cyberspace to the asset, you have blocked that section and that portion. And that's the last suggestion I can make to you.
Excellent. Thanks, Malad, for that. Well, look, what I might do, because we are running out of time, but my final question will be to our panel today. If I could just maybe get you all to, I suppose, your final thoughts that you would like to leave with the audience from today's presentations and panel discussions. So what I might do is I'm looking at my screen. So Shun, I'll start with yourself.
Okay. Lucky first. I would say, as a manufacturer, we know technology companies, but sometimes we we are missing points where the market is really requesting to have such a features. So it is quite important for us to get eyes on the market and getting feedback from the market. Even with this session, after the session, we'd like to have a good lots of feedbacks from your end, so that we get to know what the demands are at the factory, at the market, and that we can certainly work for development of the new products. So energy efficiency is a big topic, and there's not only one way, but many ways to achieve what we want to do. So definitely would like to support as a manufacturer, but feedback from your end is very important. And thanks for taking this session. And that's my final word.
Thank you. Matt?
Thanks, Megan. I suppose when it comes to energy efficiency, we need to make sure that we're all thinking for the future, and what we're going to put into our buildings is it makes our buildings integration easy when we move forward with new technology. So utilizing open protocols, collecting data along the way, and really driving those net zero results and carbon emissions throughout the building is really going to build a better future for everyone.
Thanks, Matt. Millard?
I'll be very quick, and my suggestion is embrace the change, embrace the shift, and don't get disappointed if you are being knocked back by providing a creative, brand new solution. Changing perceptions always take time and energy, and keep pushing forward. Thanks.
Rebecca?
I think one of my takeaways from this is that it's a great time to be an electrical engineer. We're getting all these new systems to allow us to get all this new data that allows us to put more science behind our technical decisions and decisions about availability of asset, data that didn't used to be there. And so future looks bright.
And Freya, the final word.
Well, I'll be very short. It has been a fantastic session for me. It's been very informative, and thank you everyone for their presentation. And also, it has been a wonderful opportunity to look into the customer's perspective, what they're thinking, what they're struggling, what are their questions. So amazing on that front. Thank you very much.
Excellent. I'm so pleased. Well, look, on behalf of our audience, a big thank you to our speakers today, Shun Mizuta, Matthew Doley, Freya Sultana, Rebecca Patterson, Millard Mostafavala. Thank you so much for your time and energy with our presentations. They were wonderful. If I could ask a big, I suppose, and I need to say thank you to our audience who are watching today. If I could please ask a favour, if you could click on the link below for our survey for feedback. We really love to hear from our audience to make sure that we're delivering the best Thought Leaders series possible. So if you could do that, that would be wonderful. And finally, thank you for joining us today. I hope you've enjoyed this session, and we look forward to seeing you at our next Thought Leaders event. Good afternoon.